Hey folks, so welcome to the channel. We're going to go ahead and we're going to play a little bit of Windward today, in case you hadn't guessed. It's a bit of an action game, adventure, indie, role-playing. There's some interesting aspects to it. There's a bit of trading, there's some PvP when you get online. There's definitely an open world to be explored. You do have a little bit of selection where you can kind of customize things with your ship. It's pretty much like no other game out there on the market right now, at least on the Steam market. There was a game a while ago, a pirate game, that was kind of similar to it. It was for the Xbox, but I haven't really found anything for the PC, at least nothing except for, like I said, there was that Xbox game. I think it was ported over to the PC eventually, but anyways, so we're going to keep on going here. It looks like we're going to set with the default settings pretty much. Our combat damage, we want to set that down to 100%. Challenge, allow player ships, yeah, this all looks pretty good. So you do have a randomized map. There's different colors for the different factions. They all start in their different areas. You can randomize this a bit. Each section of the map is a square. So when we start out, we're actually going to go with, let's go with these guys, the red ones. They're pretty good at war. I believe these blue guys are pretty fast. They're kind of the explorers. The yellow/orangish guys are traders, and then the green I think is kind of neutral all around. What does it say? Tend to be somewhat violent nature. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at each of these. The Valiant. Arid, humid, dry, subtropical, Arctic. Anyways, you get the idea. Each of them is a little bit different. The map, the area down low is kind of a tropical area. The top area is icy, and everything in between is a variant of that. So there's going to be different types of objects that you can trade between towns, between map regions, and those are going to go along with the type of area or map that we're in. As you can see, there's a bit of snow here. That's because we started up on the northern end of the map as the red guys. Our name is Nipsis, of course, and it looks like you move with the WASD, so that's pretty common. This is our first little town. I gotta say, the graphics on this are quite beautiful. Okay, so W actually goes forward, S goes backwards. It doesn't move around with you, it stays pretty stationary. You right click on this, some cargo here. Looks like we got a little bit of money to start with. We got a little over 3,000. We got some wood, we got some stone, and we got some black powder. So these are all useful objects, but not actually what you're trading. I believe these are things that get used up as resources for different skills. For example, I have the skill Walk the Plank. It allows me to go underground at a shipwreck and search for things. These, on the other hand, are things that you can trade with. They're kind of the resources. They use your money to buy them, and then they'll have a different set price for each place that you go to. So while coal is 236 here, it might be 300 somewhere else. Fur is 938, might be a couple thousand somewhere else, but then again it might also be 500, so you gotta be careful about that. Well, it does look like they've only got one of these in stock, so we're gonna go ahead and buy it. We bought that for 938. Let's go ahead and keep an eye on that. This is the player map. Obviously I'm playing solo, so there's not a whole lot here to see. But if we go over here, we look at the map. Looks like we can see usually what other places are around here. So let's go on a bit of an adventure. We did pick up that fur, so maybe we can go find a place to sell it. Here's our mini-map over on the side. These red dots are our fellow shipmates. Well, it looks like we can search something down. Let's go ahead and do that. This only works when you're in proximity of a sunken ship, so... Oh, and we got something there. We got a couple of wood and a couple of stone. Start a combat instance. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's another town. I do believe spacebar stops you. so you don't run into things and hurt your ship. Your ship, I think, does have life on it, so you want to be a little careful about that. See, fur here, 934, so a little bit cheaper than the other place. Let's go ahead and buy another one of those. And I believe if we look at that map now again, we can see the original place we were at. Yep, and we can see the one down here as well. And if you notice, we have a list of abundant items that are at where we're at and a list of shortages. Again, we can use the map to look over here and see that we have a list of abundant items at that town and shortages at that town. This one has abundant items and shortages as well. So we're looking for, right now, a place that has shortages with the fur. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we can find. It is a bit of a slower paced game. You do have a lot of travel involved, which means that when you're going from place to place, it's going to take some time. I mean, I do believe you can fast travel, but that's only from map to map. And what I mean by that, here's the fast travel map. We started up here, we want to go here, but it does look like we have to actually be level 6 to go there. It says level 6, requires level 6. So we got a bit of adventuring to do before we can get to that point. I mean, I think you can still go there anyways, it's just the shops won't actually interact with it. So you want to be careful about wandering into those places since the shops won't actually do business with you and the possible enemy ships are quite mean. Oh dear gosh, we went there anyways, didn't we? Yeah. We moved into that territory. Let's go ahead and move back. Just for a little bit. See, we do have a bar at the top where it's red on half of it and black on the other half. That was to indicate that there are pirates in that map, so we want to be quite careful. So the indication of that is actually this gray area here. It is easy to miss that, but that gray area, when you sail into it, will actually set you over to the next map. So far, I gotta say with the game, I'm quite pleased with it. I think the graphics are quite beautiful. It is still a game in progress, a lot being developed. The developer for the game actually has his own server that he hosts online games for, so although I'm playing single player right now, if you wanted to have interaction with the creator of the game, you can do so. He does get really involved with the community, which is unlike most other games I've seen around. Repair, reckless volley. I don't know if we're going to go up that way. Do we want to go up that way? Let's check out what was up that way. We haven't really explored the entire map yet, so we might as well. And it looks like there isn't much there. Oh, there's something here. So you find these items. Okay, we got a smiling crew. And we can actually see that smiling crew here if we hit I with our inventory. And we can... No. Oh dear gosh. Oh, I took some damage. So that's exactly what I meant by you want to kind of be careful where you're going. Use that space bar. So I don't know if we can switch this out in the middle of here. Can we? No, it looks like we got to be at the town in order to do anything. Okay, so there's a sunken ship, like I was saying earlier, and we can go ahead and drop down, grab some goods from that. Looks like we got some gunpowder. Our ship's on burning, which is not good, and we've lost a little bit of health. So we're going to go down here to the repair, and we're going to go ahead and repair ourselves. Now, it uses a little bit of wood. Remember I was talking about those resources, the wood. We used up just a little bit of that to repair those, and we want to be mindful. We have a couple items here. We got a shipment of fur and another shipment of fur. So if you recall, when we bought that, it slotted in here. We bought the second one and it slotted in here. We have a pretty small ship, so we can actually only hold 2 items at once. This stuff in here, it looks like you have a lot of inventory. That's kind of a lie. That's mostly for things that you find, like items and you know, if you imagine the ship being a character, this is where your armor and your quest items and your weapons and your sails and your hold, all that stuff, it's all going to come here. When you go to town, you go ahead and swap out for the better one. Like we were saying, this is the one on the left here is the one we've got equipped. we've got 5 accuracy. This new one gives us 7 accuracy. It looks like it takes down a little bit of our range and a little bit of the diplomacy and damage, but overall it's an upgrade. So it's probably going to be worth it. But anyways, let's go ahead and go back to that town over here. On the way, we'll swap it out. So the game does have an interesting swarm mechanic. You know, these little objects, the birds here, they are kind of one object, but they move around in a swarm. A lot of games are starting to make use of that type of stuff. It's an interesting kind of mechanic for a top-down game. It definitely brings some life to it. So here we go with this. We're going to want to switch over to our items. Nope, our items, our ship. No, I guess we just do this from the inventory. Yep, here we do it from the inventory. So we grab this, we go ahead and swap that over, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and go back to here, and we'll sell this one. So I guess we can salvage it for some experience, but I just want to sell it, so we're going to trade it over. And ships, we can buy a different ship. Looks like there's a couple of options for ships in this. They each have 3 cargo spaces, so that's going to be a nifty upgrade. This one has 4 spaces, but it looks like if you compare some of these other stats, like this one has a lot of defense, it has 4 spaces, this one only has 200 defense, but offense, I guess it's just all around better, but it costs a lot more, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Usually there's a couple of ships that are all around similar price ranges once you get into the mid-game, if I'm not mistaken. Sloop of War, we don't quite have enough for really any of these, so we're going to have to make do with what we got. We do have another town that's been discovered over there. I guess one of our guys was nice enough to discover that. Let's see. It is shortages on fur. Looks like it's got 3 stars. Oh darn. So we want to get over there. We want to sell our fur quickly before one of the other trading ships gets there and fulfills that. And we should make a bit of profit off of that. So that'll be our first trade, and then we'll see where we need to go from there. Alrighty. So we got that there. Items. Okay, so up to cargo. And they were short on fur, right? Yep, short on fur. 937. That's, well, it's more than the second one we picked up, but it's quite a bit less than the first one, so we're not actually making a lot of money there. Oh, sold shipment for a loss of 1%. See, so I'm going to be careful with this type of stuff. You definitely got to look at what is available to you. Let's see. These guys are short on fish, meat, and leather. We have fishing tools. They needed fishing tools. Fishing tools, yeah. Let's go ahead and grab one of those. Cargo, fishing tools are up here. Let's go ahead and buy one of those for 163. We'll turn around up here and we'll head back. Hopefully we'll make a little bit more profit. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but you only got 2 slots there, so you gotta get rid of something or waste some time kind of sailing around looking for a place that will sell it for a little bit more. And actually, if you're looking to make the most money, the trick with that, let's go ahead and pick this up. There we go. The trick with that is to head to places in different geographical regions. So if we were to go from here down to here and find a place that needs fur down that low, they're going to pay extraordinarily more than somewhere that is right next to us. So 162, we'll be making a profit there. Okay, profit of 22 gold, so not bad. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and look at that map again. And these guys have craft tools, iron and coal. They need crafts, but not craft tools, huh? Craft tools. Yeah. Craft. Let's see what else is here. They need They need coal. We have coal here. We have iron and crafts also. They just need... Oh, they need the iron. Okay, so if we get those two, we could go there. No, no. So yeah, let's get rid of this fur at the place. So I guess we bought it here, huh? Can we sell it? No, we can't sell that. Okay, well, let's grab, let's see, between the crafts and the iron, crafts cost more, so let's go with that one. That was 522. Back down here. Well, we did have a chance to raid a sunken ship there, but we'll get it on the next one. So there is wars, there's pirates in this game, they take over these cities. The crafting is kind of a fun aspect to it, but it is definitely not the only thing there. When you do fight, you can actually have followers, other ships, like these kind of RPG guys that are trading on their own right now. They will come and follow you. We did have shipment of fur, we have the shipment of crafts. Crafts were on here somewhere, right? Yeah, they need crafts. Oh, he wants to buy crafts, he doesn't want to sell it. Who was the other one that wanted to sell it then? Fast travel maps. I picked up the wrong one, didn't I? Ah, shucks. They had iron and coal, and you needed iron and coal, and I picked up the one thing you did not need. Go figure. Well, let's go ahead and keep a hold of these then and see if we can find some place else to sell them, because we took a loss on that one for... we don't need to take a loss on this next sale, we just can't afford it. But that doesn't mean that we can't find somewhere else to go ahead and sell those up. So as I was saying, the RPGs that can follow you around, they can act kind of as a bait for you when you're fighting other pirates or opposing factions. Oh, that's something. Let's go ahead and grab that. Cool, we got some gold out of that. So that was a profitable venture for us. So when you're going into new territories, there's pirates, there's opposing factions. Sometimes there's random rogue factions. I don't think there's sea monsters or anything else like that in the game yet, although I wouldn't be surprised if that stuff comes along. The mechanic right now for kind of the raids and the bigger boss fights, it just tends to be, in the multiplayer, it tends to be bigger pirates, bigger towns, unexplored areas. Like I said, there is PvP too. So those can get really in-depth. That's when you start getting into what type of ship you're going to want. It's a bit of a Rochambeau mechanic there. Let's see what this guy has. Yeah, so this guy won't even do business with us, will he? Oh, there are enemies about that must be wiped out first, yeah. So we actually have to clear this out. So like I was saying before, you got the red part on the right, you got the black part on the left. That signifies that there are pirates about and that they actually control the majority of the map. So we're going to have to go ahead and liberate these people, be the savior of the town before we do any of that. So this is a turret. We got our ship's cannons. We're going to be attacking it. We're going to try and not die while we attack it. Go ahead and use our skills. Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? I think we'll make it, as long as no other pirates are us. This first map is fairly pretty easy. This is, you got to start somewhere. So this gives you some combat to try things out with, to get used to liberating the map and to work from there. So it looks like we're getting it. Now, if the battle does get at any point worse than you can handle, you can always sail away. If it gets a little bit more hairy green, there are other pirates that might be following you around now, so do keep that in mind. Yay, and we did it. Okay, so this is now liberated, but we don't actually own it, so we gotta sit here and conquer it. And while we're doing that, we might as well go ahead and repair ourselves. So you can only repair yourself when you're out of combat, and it does take some wood again, remember? We got quite a bit of wood here now, so we're okay, but do keep an eye on that. Okay, so we captured this territory, but it doesn't actually do much, so we want to repair it. And later on you get a boost to actually craft things here. Let me see, I think there's, talent points. So in this talent point area, you do have different areas where you can specialize. You can be defensive, you can be offensive, you can be a support character. I think they kind of go along with what you would expect. Defense is being tanky, it's taking a lot of damage, not doing really a whole lot. You don't really move really fast. Or at least you probably want that on the type of character that doesn't move fast, because you want to be able to sit there and take damage. Offensive, obviously, is going to be, kind of that DPS, lots of damage, lots of hitting and running is mostly the tactics that you see with offensive builds. With support, they also tend to be fairly fast, but they aren't in so much danger. A lot of their skills kind of reduce that danger and the heat that you would get from enemies. They have this ability to do crowd control stuff like the fog. Fog is really cool, where you basically just toss this barrel up in the air, it lands, and it makes you untargetable. So even though you're sitting in the middle of a fight and all of the DPS guys are doing tons of damage and all the defense guys are hopefully soaking all that damage, and you're sitting there probably healing and doing what you can do, you're actually not taking a lot of damage because you're invisible, mostly because of that crowd control fog effect. Now, you don't actually have to have that support class to use the fog. All of the skills are up here, so the damaging skill is here. This one, there's a theme that also damages, but it's kind of like a damage over time. And the tanky skills are up here. The supportive skills are kind of here. They make you faster. The fog of skill, like I was saying, you don't have to have that support to have this skill. You can get the skill, you're just not going to be specialized in it, which means you're not going to be as good at it. So you do have limited points, but I think as you level up and you progress through the game, you do get to unlock all of these. You just have to kind of select which one of these roles you're going to be using. Now, you do get multiple ships too. Like I was saying, you can purchase new ships, and when you do, you still have access to the old ship, which means if you were to buy a defensive ship, you can sail around using the defensive skills and be just fine. And then, tomorrow you might decide that you actually want to play offensively, so you go out and buy an offensive ship and you switch over to offensive skills. You don't have to respec everything, at least not after you get it to a certain point. Initially, you are probably going to be wanting to do that if you go back and forth a lot to figure out what you like to play, but initially, keep that in mind. When you're getting the ships, there's certain ships that are better for others with each of these defensive things. And, you can still build a hybrid any way you like, but you get the idea. So we were able to take over that lookout tower, which means we have a visibility of that space on our map at all times now. It looks like we still own that little town over here, which is good. So we have a starting base. Once you have a starting base in that area, you'll start to get guys of your own color spawning in. It doesn't look like there's any of them there now, but hopefully that will change. We've got a sealed letter. So a sealed letter is this thing. It actually gives you a quest item. It's going to be a random quest item. You can only have one sealed letter in your inventory at a time. It's going to be this over here. While we're doing that, let me talk a bit about the sailing mechanics of this game too. If you notice, my sails are moving in a different direction. That's because the wind is actually moving that direction. And you can tell that by this little sail on the top of your ship. So if we move in the direction that that sail is going, we're going to get a bit of a buff here that is going to allow us to move a little bit faster. And we're going to pick up some speed. If you're going against that, it's going to be a little bit harder, so keep that in mind. Okay, so here's our pirate. The first time we got a pirate. You want to be careful. Ooh, that health. Let's see what you gotta be careful. You want to fight these guys with a little bit of strategy. You might have to run from this guy. Got him there. Come on, come on. Oh, we got a buddy here. See what I was saying? Their little towns, they send out ships to we actually want to keep this guy around us. He's going to hopefully save our buns. We just barely made that. here, let's go ahead and repair. Now, repairing in deep water like this does actually take more of these resources than if we were to go over here, right next to this. So now we're in shallow water. If we repair here, it takes much less. So that's good to know. You can repair in the middle of battle, but you got to kind of exit out of that combat to do it. But there are certain skills when you get into them. Let's go ahead and check out a talent point. So we got 1 talent point. So we're going to want to get, do we want shields up? No, we want, let's see, for the first skill, we got a couple of these already set up. The Captain's Toy and the Gunner's Training. That's because we started those, the red guys, I believe. Same with Windward. Easy repairs, hasty repairs? Yeah, can't get hasty repairs yet. Uh-oh, we got somebody coming in. Let's get out of here. So the trick here is to try and keep above where they can cannon you. And... oh dear! No, 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 no. Just like that. Okay, so you want to stay ahead of them. You want to be able to turn just before you're going to hit them. And get out of their range. Certain ships have more of a range than others, so you want to be careful with that. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're going to have to come back down this way. We're going to be the full... we're taking some damage, aren't we? Now you don't want to leave him out of combat, because then he'll heal up just like you can. So be careful about keeping the combat in without taking a whole lot of damage. Lead him to where you're going to go. This tower, come on tower. Come on tower, yeah, we got a tower. Let's do this, and let's see if we can ram him. No, can't. Staying to the back of him is also pretty good too, because the ability to shoot backwards. It's actually a little bit harder. There we go, we got him. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's see what we got. We picked up some embroidery. Okay, so we got some stuff that we can customize our ship with. And I might as well show you that. Let's go ahead and repair it quickly. Now, as you notice on the map here, our guys are actually fighting right on the map. They're trying to carve out some space, so we've got another town now. We don't have to do all the hard work ourselves, but that's one thing is our teammates will help us out on that. So you're not all completely alone. It is kind of a map style game, you know, like most war type games. It has a broad feeling to it. So let's go ahead and give this a try. We got our ship here, and we want to customize something. So let's go in here, and customization down here in the bottom. Let's go ahead and drop this. This is a sail, right? No? Sail embroidery. Okay, sail embroidery is over here. So if we go ahead and toss this item, am I mistaken? There we go. Sail embroidery goes there, which means now if we look at our ship, we've got a nice little bit of customization. You can change the colors. You can change kind of the appearance, well, not the appearance, but the armor, the strength of the hull. There's a little bit of appearance you can change. That's mostly the sails, the color of this top deck, the color of the bottom deck. But I think this is actually getting quite a long episode, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. Thank you for joining, and look forward for some more episodes from this. Again, this was Windward. You can find the link to it below, and welcome to the channel.